So I've been playing Morrowind for a really long time now, and in my adventures, I've come across a lot of really great quests, but I've also found some really terrible ones, and those are the ones I want to talk about today. So here are the worst quests in Morrowind. Escort quests are notoriously bad in basically every single video game they've ever appeared in, but Morrowind somehow makes them so much worse. Quite frankly, I'm not sure why anybody even thought it was a good idea to have escort quests in this game, considering the fact that most of the characters can barely even walk properly. But for whatever reason, there are so many of them. Now, some of them aren't really that bad. There's even a couple that are kind of cool, like the one with the guar, and also... nah, that's pretty much it. But the vast majority of the escort quests in this game are just so goddamn painful. Especially the one where you have to take this really rude lady from all the way to the Ghost Gate. She's basically the Nazim of Morrowind. Have you been to the Ghost Gate recently? Oh, of course you haven't. Fucking Beatrix. Just trying to get her to the shrine, though, is an absolute nightmare because she's pretty good at getting herself killed. And if you take too long, she'll tell you off and you'll fail the quest. But if by some miracle you actually are able to get her to the Ghost Gate without her dying in some gruesome death, you'll discover that the reward she gives you is a meager 100 gold. That's right, less money than you'd get from selling the clothes off of a beggar. I just took you all the way from Alrune to the Ghost Gate, and all you give me is 100 gold? Alright, this is a robbery. Yeah, come on, cough it up. I know you got more money in your pockets. Hand it over, or else I'm gonna have to get violent. Well, as it turns out, that was actually a pretty good quest after all. A pilgrimage is the true test of one's will and faith to their cause, but it's also incredibly boring. Something apparently the Tribunal Temple in Vivec was not warned about because they are filled with a lot of them. The Silent Pilgrimage, the Pilgrimage to Margan, the Pilgrimage to Mehrunes Dagon, but worst of all has to be the Pilgrimage of the Seven Graces, mainly because there are 7 of them. And unlike Oblivion and Skyrim, there are no quest markers, which means the only way to find these shrines is to follow directions. And I'm not very good at following directions. And after completing all these tasks, the reward we get? Nothing. Yeah, that's right. Because the real reward was the friends we made along the way. Ain't that right, Kradst? Yeah, he likes me. The Mages Guild has never quite been my cup of tea, but I do have to admit, some of the Mages Guild quests are actually kinda cool. Except for pretty much all the quests given by Ajira. This lady has some of the most boring quests of all time. First, she gives us the quest to find 4 mushrooms, which, if you know where to look, is not really that difficult, but then she gives us a quest to find 4 flowers. No, I don't want to do that. But then after that, her reports on these mushrooms and flowers are stolen, and now you gotta search for that too. But in my opinion, the worst offender of them all is probably the most simple quest and most dull quest that exists in this game, and that is to go buy Ajira a ceramic bowl. Why? Why do I need to do this for you? Do you have legs? You can do this yourself. Ajira sucks. She has the worst quests, and the ceramic bowl is the perfect example of a quest that should not exist. And since she's the quest giver for Balmora, that means it was probably many people's, including myself's, first introduction to the Mages Guild. And if you're like me, then you probably thought, wow, the Mages Guild sucks. I don't want to be a part of this. The Thieves Guild is probably one of my favorite quest lines in this entire game. For one, most of the quests happen inside the cities, which I prefer, but also they require a lot of thinking and creativity in order to finish them. Except for one. And that's the quest that Angoth gives you to find a bunch of scrap metal so he can protect the Thieves Guild from invaders. Now you're probably thinking, oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go steal that scrap metal because you're a thief? No. Instead, we're told that we can find scrap metal in any dwarven ruin. Now, at this point in me playing the game, I had never found a dwarven ruin at all, because I like to spend most of my time in the cities, and the idea of going out in the wilderness terrified me. But I was still determined to complete this quest, so I explored and I ventured, and finally, I found a dwarven ruin. And inside, I found no goddamn scrap metal. Everywhere I looked, up, down, inside some Centurions, nothing. This guy said it was so easy. What a lying sack of crap. But as it turns out, all that exploring was actually pointless because you can actually buy scrap metal from specific traders for an incredibly cheap sum. So I don't know why this guy even sent me out to find scrap metal when he could have just gone to one of these guys, paid $5 for it, and then been fine. Angoth, you lazy piece of shit. Fuck you! This quest was by far the biggest waste of my life of all time. The Ashlander Tribe's quest is probably the worst quest that has ever been made in any video game ever. It's a lot like the 8 for Bruma in Oblivion, except instead of being able to fast travel to all the locations, you have to walk for hours, and also, it's mandatory. If you actually want to complete the main quest and become the Nerevarren and defeat Dagothur, that means you're gonna have to go to each one of the 5 different Ashlander tribes, which in itself takes an incredibly long time. But then once you finally get there, as it turns out, they also want you to do their own task form in order to prove yourself that you're the Nerevarren. Look, dude, what kind of proof do you need? I already got the Ring of the Moon and Star, which you know can only be worn by the Nerevarren. I feel like that's probably proof enough. I mean, what else do you want me to do? Make you a pot of tea? Kiss your grandma? I'm out of here. I'm done with your dumbass quest, and I'm gonna go hang out with Fargoth or something.
How nice. I like good company.
Wait a minute. If your level is higher than level 20 and you have at least 50 reputation, then you will not have to complete the 4th and 5th trials at all? Why? Why bring me through such pain? Through such suffering? Only to tell me it was all wasted. Fuck this game. But yeah, that's what I consider to be the top 5 worst quests in Morrowind. If you have a different list, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below. I love to see what you guys hate about the Elder Scrolls. And I'll see you guys next Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.
I don't know if I like this.